videos first came out, we thought they were cool, right? The music videos. We
Yeah,
sat there and just gaped at them, but now it's like, who cares?
right.
Most of it's dark anyway. We are live. We are live. How do you like that? Hey, it's Sue Greenwald here from Awakened Stories, and I'm here today with the real, the one, the only, dun 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 da, John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
Doing great, dude. Thank you so much. It's always nice when you say let's do something and chat and
Yep,
thank everybody for joining us today and sharing our video.
yep, yep, yep. So we are basically, we usually talk every week, tell little stories, complain about this or that. I'll tell you why, because the story needs to get out to the general public. Okay. They don't know the story, they don't understand. They've been going along, living their lives, reading People magazine and whatever's on Netflix or TV or whatever. They don't realize that there's so much more going on. All right. So we need to get the story out. Now, if you haven't heard the story, go and watch this documentary, The Quiet Journey TV. 1 hour documentary, fabulous information. It tells John's story. It's beautifully done. You won't regret spending your time that way. And then if you want more of an overview of what John's gone through, Quest for Justice is the newest book. And oh my God, I know who's helped out with that. It's on my website, awakenstories.com, or you can go to John's website, the real John F. Kennedy JR.com, right? And then you can order the book there, and it's easy to read. It gives an overview of the entire story. All right. All the stories that he's told us through video the past few years, right? All right.
Sorry,
So,
Sue. I keep getting these pop-ups coming up. Printer error. I was trying to print my insurance cards before we came on,
yep.
and now I keep getting the printer error, printer error, printer. Nothing I ever do works the first time or the second time. It usually takes 3 or 4 times. It's still
Well,
popping up. I've deleted it 5 times now.
there's because you probably submitted a bunch of times. Each time it might come up, you know. But anyway, all the technology that I've got, I'm either unable to log in, my account has been hacked, for some reason, my content isn't accepted. I mean, the censorship has gotten so bad lately. Horrible. No matter what I'm doing, I am stymied. And guess what, guys? I'm going to still keep going. I will figure it out. Okay. It's an
We don't.
annoyance, it wastes time, but I'm not stopping. Okay. So,
We
and I
don't.
think
We
that
don't
goes with a
give
lot of
up.
other people, right?
I don't give up. So last year we went to Walmart. I had to print some stuff out because me sharing my story, it's a pain in the ass. It really is, but it's got to be done. So there's things that people say, can you print this out, print that out? So last year we went to Walmart, got a printer, hooked it up. It quit working. So we went back and got another one. I mean, they're like $50, and then the ink I think is like $50. But
Mhm.
so the first one quit working. Then we got a second one, and the other day the second one said there was a paper jam, and I tore that whole thing apart. There's no paper jam in that stupid thing. So I sent Robin to Walmart and got a third one. We're on a third one, and now I get all these pop-ups that say, "Fuck you, John Kennedy Jr." So
What
it's like 3 printers, and I could have went to the damn library and gave them $1 and printed out what I needed.
exactly? I've had to do
So
that too.
yeah, I hope we're not working on our fourth printer just to try to get my story out. But it is what it is. Everybody on Facebook, I just got a comment. I am actually live with the beautiful Sue Greenwald on Awakened Stories on YouTube. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't want to just sit here and see me and hear Sue in the background, you can go to YouTube and check us out. I
Yeah.
probably could turn the camera around where you can see
It's
it,
all
but
good. It's all
it's
good.
all good, people. Thank you so much for your love and your shares and your prayers. November 22nd, share the hell out of it. Let's make this thing huge. Let's get justice for the world. They're liars, they're thieves, they're murderers in our government. They always have been. I'm sharing my story. They don't want me out, so let's get it out.
Right? I have that contrarian personality because if you tell me I can't do something, I'm not like usually too much in your face, but I'm like, oh, really? And then I go ahead and do it, right? And so it's just the way I'm motivated, I guess. But don't try to block me or censor me because I'm going to figure it out. I will figure out plan B. So yesterday I had a really big issue, and normally I would have blown my top, right? So I'm pretty proud of myself. I only stewed a little bit and I figured out the plan B and had it implemented within 4 or 5 hours. Still had to waste half a day, but not going to stop. So,
I
yay.
was just thinking when you were saying that, I've had many attempts on my life, many threats on my life by these
Yeah.
people. They were like, if you tell anybody your story, we're gonna kill them. And if you tell anybody's story, we're gonna kill you too. So I was like, okay, please don't kill me. And now I'm here like, fuck you, let's do this. Hello.
What, geez, John, thanks for telling me now. That's funny. That is funny. But if you read in A Quest for Justice, again, then we got a lot of glare here. If you read in Quest for Justice, there's a chapter about all the attempts on your life. And if I'm not mistaken, I wrote 28 various attempts that you've told us about. And there's even more that we don't know about. More details,
There's probably
more.
more that I don't want to talk about,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Yeah,
it's crazy. And I'm not trying to brag. I didn't even know there was that many. I don't
28.
count.
Yeah.
I tried
And
to count all the murders I knew about one time when I was young, and I was like, okay, there's 10. Then I counted on my toes, and I was like, okay, now I got my hands, and my toes, and my fingers, and now I'm going to start counting on my fingers. And I counted so many murders that I knew about because it was a mafia war, and the people in this mafia war within our government cover them up. One might say, oh, that's a suicide, or that's just an auto accident, or heart attacks, people. But yeah, I got to like 80 and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to forget them all.
80 is a lot. 80 is a lot. So the 28 like near death threats or attempts or whatever you want to call them, we also have 6 airplane or helicopter crashes. So, how many of us, now, a lot of us have had near misses and trouble in our lives, but that is a huge number that you're aware of. And that's the point.
Some
There's
of those
so,
might not be considered murder, but
hmm,
self-defense, justice. Um, I've had human remains splattered all over my face because it's hard to explain, but being on my side, the good side, you have to wait for someone to take your life. Um, so you can't just throw them in a hole and get rid of them, make dog food out of them or whatever. Um, so you actually have to wait, and that happened to me. They used me as a worm on a hook, sitting in the back of a car, waiting for the guy next to me to pull a gun, and then their brains would get splattered. The back window would shatter, just like in the movies, people. But it was real life. Yeah, crazy. You want to forget about those kind of things, but I'm a nervous wreck. I used to be a nervous wreck. People say, "Oh, you shake. You can't be the real John Kennedy Jr." Yeah, well, start counting because I don't have enough fingers and toes, but I'm still here. And it's got to be for a reason. It really does. And I'm hoping that reason is to wake up the world that, hey, these people, they get to unalive people. They get to steal everything in their bank account, their automobiles, their ranches, their land, their real estate. They can unalive these people and they police themselves. So if anybody comes around asking questions, they just unalive them too.
right,
It's a
right,
never ending cycle. It really is.
right, right. And think of MK Ultra. Okay, so you were, basically tortured and hypnotized and your mind was shattered and all that other stuff. MK Ultra is a real thing and it's still being used out there, even though Officially, if you research it, it said it was discontinued. Obviously not true because so many people are coming forward. We've got
Well,
all
they
these
want you
like,
to think it's discontinued,
yeah, of
but it's
course.
a powerful mind control tool. MK Ultra is huge.
Right,
You can use it for your advantage. You can get people to do things for you, and they don't know that they're even doing them. A lot of
right,
people have died under MK Ultra and never even knew what was happening. They died unaware why they even died.
right,
It's a weapon of war. It's a weapon to extract information from your enemies. It's huge. The mental tool. I think about mental tools all the time. And this morning I was thinking of songs you hear in your mind. Like you hear a song on the radio, you can sing that song in your mind that you heard on the radio last week, and it sounds just like them. It doesn't sound like your voice. I mean, you're listening to the song replay in your mind,
right.
your database of that song in your mind. Then you try to sing it, and you're like, man, I sound like shit compared to what's going on in my mind right now. But yeah, our minds are like computers. So when people lie to you and deceive you, it goes into your database. You hear all this stuff on the internet. Oh, I know it's true. I you know, there's so much of it. Your father didn't get killed. He was living on the moon and, all this crazy bullshit. And it's like, no, my father was killed in 1963. He doesn't have a tent on the moon. He's not coming back with George to save the world. Donald Trump's not his best friend. All this crazy crap. It's really, but it's what people hear and then they replay. So,
Right.
sooner or later with the internet, with the thousands and millions of people on the internet, the story travels around. Next thing you know, this fish right here that you caught last week is this fish. It was that big. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking of the mind control and how they do it.
And you've talked about presidents being under mind control. Okay, so we see the presidents. Bill Clinton's a really good example, okay, because of all the crazy shit he did. We see
Oh,
these
yeah.
presidents doing non-presidential types of things, and you're like,
What's
well, they,
crazier is they brought me along for a lot of that crazy shit.
yeah. I mean, you told the
They
story
did.
about being
I
in the,
saw. So I haven't repeated a lot of things I saw, but one thing I have said was they brought me in a limousine with President Clinton. We were snorting cocaine, and he had a black mistress, and they set it all up. Our Secret Service set this all up. He had to be under. I know I was under MK Ultra, but I figured Bill Clinton was too. All the way to the cigar in the White House. They do the they put you under MK Ultra and they set this up. Bill Clinton after I heard his son that is half black was coming out saying, "Hey, Bill Clinton's my father. He won't even recognize me. My mother and him were having an affair." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember that time me and Bill Clinton were snorting cocaine and he had that black mistress in the back of his limousine." I was like, so why are they covering it all up? It's crazy.
well, it sounds to me like from your story that they orchestrated that event, which is a little weird. Okay, so
Oh,
maybe,
they. I just sorry, Sue, to interrupt you, but
nope,
Bill Cosby, same thing. All these famous people with buku money, they orchestrate this child abuse, the child trafficking. That's what their club is all about. The Epstein files. The
right.
Epstein files are just exposing this whole club. You got Bill Clinton in the club. You got Donald Trump in the club. You got George Bush in the club. You got Obama in the club. It's one big club. I was thinking earlier this morning, people don't imagine how big it is. It's organized crime, and it's the hugest, biggest organized crime ring in the world. Think about the United States of America with 1.5 million inmates. Our country has 1.5 million criminals incarcerated in the
Mm,
United States of America. Just think about how many more will be added when these people really get the punishment they deserve for all their crimes. They're policing themselves, is what they're doing. They're making the FBI director in their pocket. It's organized crime. They place all their members in place. Donald Trump's whole cabinet, all the way to the Epstein's. And all the Epstein is the same as my files. I'm exposing the crime ring at the top. That's what the Epstein files do. They won't release the Epstein files because Donald Trump's in there. Um, they're all in there. That's what this whole thing was about. The children part, they were getting children to brainwash them and get them under MK Ultra and invite them into their crime family through torture, fear, and sex. The, you know, what little teenage kid don't like banging a really hot movie star? I mean, come on. Um, that's how they operate to get you into their club. I did it. I know it.
Horrible, horrible. So they take away people's, free will in this case. I was just thinking how, when you're under MK Ultra and then you're caught doing something, you have deniability because you don't remember doing whatever they claim you've done. And that's what we've seen throughout history, like these school shooters or we have these catastrophes, and then people are like, I didn't do that. I don't remember being there. I don't remember doing that. And even, when your father was shot, okay, they claim this one guy shot, what, a jillion bullets, right? And
Oh yeah, I did the shot of the century.
yeah, but he was
It's all MK Ultra.
he was killed before anything could be done. So that
That's
the, yeah, you
yeah.
can't get the proof. Like, oh, so we'll never find out what really happened.
Oh, they cover their tracks. It's MK Ultra. You can get
Yeah,
a shooter under MK Ultra to shoot somebody.
yeah,
You can get another shooter to shoot that shooter to shut that shooter up. Then
yeah,
you can get another shooter to shoot that shooter to cover him up. That's the power of MK Ultra.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
programming the mind. You're going to be here. You're going to do this. This guy, you can't stand this guy. It gets stuck in your head, just like that song that's playing over and over again. So you're walking down the road, and your mind is like, "Yeah, I'm going to go pick up this gun, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to shoot that guy
right, right.
because my mind's telling me I am going to do it."
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
MK Ultra. It's wild, wicked weapon. It
right.
is.
And a lot of these shootings, I don't know that they're all even true. Okay. So that doesn't mean people are not in pain, suffering, or dead or whatever. But a lot of them are orchestrated or they're crisis actors.
Yeah, I
So,
know of one from years and years ago
yeah.
that convinced me on all the others. It was a college shooting, and the guy was put under MK Ultra, and he was walked around the campus in the middle of the night, and he was being told by our evil government agents, "This is what you're going to do in this spot when you're in this position." We walked further down the hallway, and he was like told, "This is what you're going to do when you get in this position." And a few months later, I saw it on the news. The same thing that I saw previously on MK Ultra. Um, even the guy that shot my uncle Bobby, I didn't do it. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That's MK Ultra, people. It's mind programming of a human being. Take it
Oh,
to
okay.
I,
So basically, let's go back to this college shooting. I don't know who the person was. Were you there when they walked him through the campus and
I
pointing
sure
out
was,
you were
and I
there
didn't
with
know
them?
what I didn't know what was being done at the time. But yeah, I was like, their security blanket. Maybe they were just showing me, but they showed me so many things like
Hmm.
that. It's an education. It really, really is.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, I don't have the answers why it was all done to me, why I was shown what I was shown. When Justice Scalia was in that hunting cabin, I was taken there. There had been a few things that they had taken me on murders, basically is what they are when you get a hot shot behind your leg and you have a heart attack from that shot, and it's just a little needle behind the back of your calf. How do I know it's behind the back of your calf? Because I was there. I've seen how they do it. They roll up your leg. They give you a little shot. You have a heart attack. The coroner comes in, and the cause of death was a heart attack. It wasn't the little needle behind the back of your leg.
Right.
Justice Scalia, how do I know our Supreme Court has been overthrown? Because I was there. Justice Scalia was laying on the bed. The man that took me there, we'll call him Wayne. He said, "Do you notice anything peculiar with the scene, the crime scene here? And I said, yeah, the pant legs rolled up a little bit, the socks rolled down a little bit, and there's a little mosquito bite on the back of his leg. And he just looked at me and said, yeah.
Wow. So whoever, let's say, threw that needle or whatever, okay, they didn't adjust the pant leg and the sock back down. Hmm, interesting.
Maybe it was so I would see it.
Okay, interesting.
Maybe the guy that went there and showed me that he was killed is the one that did it. Under MK Ultra, you just don't know. And it's
Yeah.
so, when I saw Justice Kennedy and standing before Donald Trump saying, I surrender my Supreme Court justiceship, I'm quitting and resigning. It was all done to take over the. So, do you believe if our organized crime, if what I'm saying, and they have murdered Supreme Court justices just to put organized crime members in their place, do you think our Supreme Court matters? Do you think that their opinion matters when they've been put in place by organ? Of course not. I don't think. I think everything that the Supreme Court has done since Justice Scalia should be thrown the fuck out. Every single thing. It's been on the fix. It's been on the take. They've been paid off one way or another, or threatened with their lives. They've been placed by organized crime members within our government to make decisions and not fair decisions.
Right.
Um, it's crazy huge what has become of our government and our justice system with organized crime. In my book, I shared that I saw a little kid stomped to death by a pony or a horse. I was so sick that day. My head was going to explode from the poison they put me under or whatever, but I was looking out the car window at these cowboys holding this horse, stomping a little kid to death. And come to find out that little kid's father was a judge. Now, was that done on purpose so that judge would make a decision that wasn't lawful? Of course it was. That judge was being told we can kill your children and get away with it. Why? Because that was our Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA. They all work together. So I don't know why I always have to mention all three. The three-letter agencies that are involved in this shit
Yeah.
killed a child. They killed my sister. I watched them kill my mother. I seen I didn't watch them, but I saw my sister's dead body while they were giving me directions to stab my dead sister with a broken golf club just so they would have my fingerprints on it, get my blood on it. Then I was demanded to sign a confession. I killed my own mother. I killed my own sister. That's these evil motherfuckers in our government. Excuse my language. I think of this shit and I think of the frustration. And people say, oh, well, why don't you just get your story out? Well, why don't we just get the Epstein files out? My story's bigger than the Epstein files, people. And we can't get our own freaking government to release them.
Right.
There you go. That's a great example. Oh, well, it's so easy. You just release your files. Yeah, release the Epstein fucking files and tell me how easy it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for all of the regular people in the
I'm calming
audience,
down now. I'm shaking my
yeah, yeah,
chill.
yeah. So for those that are watching that are new, like regular people, okay, how would you go about getting this story out? Okay. Here's the thing. John's got no money. He's got no, at this point, fame, right? He's got no control over any group or organization. He's a guy talking every freaking day about his story over and over and over so people understand it, right? So we hear the story and we're like, oh my golly, I didn't know that was even possible. But once you learn it, you realize it's the truth. Then we help to share it. That's how we've been getting the story out there. It's slow, painful, and tedious, but how else could we go about it? We're banned, our stuff is taken down, we're like all this censorship stuff. Believe me, it's more real than you want to know, right?
Oh,
So,
and they went out of their way. They went, not only did they say, oh, if you tell anybody, about this. We're going to kill them. And if you say anything, we're going to kill you too.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. They kept me in poverty. They didn't want me to have the resources to do anything. Pulling a wagon to the food bank because I didn't have money to buy food. It's crazy the power and control they can have. When you're talking about the biggest crime ring in the world, you really need to open up your mind to how big and powerful that can get.
Right.
There's so many victims that have came to me and say, I'm a victim of all this too. And there's absolutely nothing you can fucking do.
Right.
Trust in God. No, people.
Yeah.
God's not just going to work it out all by himself. We have to do something and show God, hey, we're fighters. We're going to help get this truth out with you, God. I know you got my back when that bullet's whizzing by my face. And, a little bit over this way, I wouldn't be here today. But thanks,
Right.
God, for making that bullet just graze my cheek and not hit me in the forehead.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, like, again, if you read this, there's so much detail in here that basically I went through all billion videos that we've done to get the content, okay? Um, there's a lot of detail in there. Now, it's not as deep as I didn't go deep into every story. I don't have all of that info. You couldn't make that up if you tried.
I couldn't. I'm not smart
No,
enough to make all this shit up, people,
no,
with the dates and the times and repeating myself. I can't write nothing down because I've been
yeah,
tortured so much. Names were a big thing I was tortured about.
right,
Being with the Hells Angels as a child, we didn't talk about, that's what gets me about all these clubs and all these Hells Angels clubs. They're posting all their pictures all over the internet. It's like, no, we don't do that. The government's taking your freaking screenshot. They're comparing your photo. They're putting it in a database because the government declared the HA 81 criminals. It's a criminal organization. So they're gathering all this intel on your club for the people. That's what they do. That's just what they do. But yeah, when I was being taught by them and protected by them, um, don't mention any names. If somebody walked in, don't say, "Hey, Sonny, how's it going?" Sonny wasn't there. You say, "Hey, brother, how's it going?" Because they're all brothers. So that way, the people listening in the clubhouse, there was a sign right on above the phone. Whatever you're talking to on this phone, someone else is listening to you because the government was our enemy. Back then, the government was the one throwing the hand grenades trying to kill the Hells Angels. And
right.
then the government finally declared, and that's what really pisses me off when I see a picture of Donald Trump saying he supports the Hells Angels 81. They declared you people a criminal organization. Now, maybe start waving your flag for Donald Trump when he says, okay, the Hells Angels aren't criminals any longer, and they are a justice force for protecting the son of an assassinated president. I'd love to see that. It's not going to happen, though. It's not. It's really not.
Wow.
And yeah, but as far as me remembering names, I was going to the doctor yesterday morning, and I got prescribed all kinds of new shit yesterday. But I was on my way to the doctor's. It's not far from here, and I was like, "What's my doctor's name?"
Oh no.
And my mind was blank. So for the 10-minute, 15-minute drive, I'm going, I got to check in. I got to tell them, hey, David Quigley's here. My doctor's so and so. I'm like, what the fuck is my? I've only been going there for 5 years now. I have the same doctor. What's her name? And I pulled in and I started walking in, and it was like, oh yeah, that's her name. So for 15 minutes, I was trying to remember her name, but then I got to the door, and it was like right there in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy. But I was tortured and brainwashed not to remember no names. I mean, I can remember your name because I sit here and do videos after videos after videos. So your name doesn't get pushed back in my mind. But if I meet somebody, even if it's a few times, I was driving truck. It was funny. This was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, probably 30 years ago. It's been a while, but I was driving truck. I met this gal that worked for the same company I did. And she was driving a truck just like with that company sticker on the side. And I got out and we started chatting. And I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" She told me her name. Then we got into the truck stop, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I forgot your name again." So she told me her name again. And she said, "Oh, let's do lunch. Let's go have lunch." So we went in the restaurant, and we're eating. And I think she even said, "What's my name?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." So she got pissed off, and that was the end of that because she told me her name 3 times and I couldn't remember it, and she thought I was just a dumbass. But actually, it was programmed where I wasn't supposed to remember names.
That's funny. That
Because
is
if
funny.
if you're kidnapped, if you're tortured, you tell those people your names. Um, when I was that little kid in Vietnam, when I ran up to those choppers with piss and shit in my pants, and that guy grabbed me by the arm, threw me in the helicopter. We went back talking with the commander. The commander was like, "Who are you? What is your name, kid?" And I had tears in my eyes. I had a rope in the ears around my neck too, but I was like, I don't even fucking know who I am. I don't.
Wow.
At 9 years old, the son of an assassinated president was talking to a commander in Vietnam, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But look at my ears. Don't take my fucking ears away from me.
Well,
He made me go pick up Pop Tops. Back then in Vietnam, they drank an awful lot of beer. They really, really did. And, when they would get out of that jungle and they would hit camp, and beers would start flowing. But the commander took away my ears. And that's because our CIA wanted confirmation. Um, I, I saw a documentary, and every time I watched it, it confirms things more. But those ears those guys in Vietnam were putting around my neck is because the commanders would send these people out in the jungle. And instead of them coming back just saying, yeah, we killed 20 Vietnamese on our trip out there in the last 3 days, they wanted proof. They didn't want to just take their word for it. We killed 20 Vietnamese. So they were cutting off the ears, putting the ears around my necklace, and saying, well, when we get back to headquarters, you can hold this up and say, yeah, we killed 20 Vietnamese right here. But it was asked for by our government, confirm your kills. So I believe that's why that was actually done. So they were giving me their kills, which is actually recorded in your performance when you're in the military on how many people you've killed, how many
wow.
planes you've shot down, how many submarines you destroyed. No matter how high you get in the ladder, it goes to the commander of the battleship. Yeah, you blew up the enemy's battleship. That's going in your record. Good job. You just killed 600 sailors. Good job.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. One of the things I wanted to show was how every industry, no matter what industry we're talking about, can be bought off. All right, so military, judicial, the police, food, like every industry. So we think we have these laws that protect us, but there's ways around it. There's a lot of ways they can make a regular person without influence jump through hoops and not go what
Well,
they
they
want.
police they police themselves, Sue, most
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a good way to
When
put
I
it.
went to the dentist when I was young, they had changed my birth certificate for 6 years difference. My real birthday is 1960, but when time went on, they gave me a birth certificate that said David Quigley, 1966. So there's a 6 year time period. Well, I had to go to the dentist, and I'm at the dentist. They're pulling my teeth, and the dentist is looking at the chart and he's saying, wait a minute, this kid is not 6 years difference than this. I know by looking at his mouth, he is much older. And I want answers. Well, they had a Secret Service agent go in there and probably show them their badge and said, "Look, this is a matter of national security.
Yeah,
Either shut up or we'll kill you."
yeah,
They have that much power to say, "Hey, this is a matter of national security. End it now. Say
right,
no more, or we'll
right,
throw you in prison, or whatever they'll do." Back then, they made people's lives miserable, or
yeah,
killed, just made
yeah,
them disappear.
yeah.
And then you find a pile of ashes out in the middle of the desert.
All right, let's talk about that. I'm seeing video about these giant ass people, like piles of bodies that they're finding out in Nevada, right? And out in the middle of the boondocks. And you said that you were aware of some spots that there were bodies or that you had witnessed something out along that lines and you've offered to take them there. Is that the
Oh, well, that was
story?
back in California, but yeah,
Ah,
even here in the desert, if you
okay.
just walk around the desert or grab on an ATV or a motorbike or something and scroll, you'll find piles of rocks that look like graves from how long ago, how far long ago. But yeah, these piles of ashes that were found in Nevada,
Yeah.
and now they were found here in Arizona. But and I have my theories because I know how things work. You know, they put me in a crematorium, where they have the thing that pulls out and you sit on it, and they slide the
Mhm.
body in, and they light it up. For torture, they would have me go in there and say, "We're going to burn you alive. Get in there." But that's the kind of things they did. So you're sitting in this furnace, and you're like, "Okay, when are they going to kill me?" It's very mental. And
Yeah.
that's the Epstein files, people. I'm exposing what they did to me, the torture that they do to break you down. We have the power. We have all these movie stars. We're the powerful elite, and they get you so fearful. They pretend to kill you. Like the Masons and these secret societies. That's part of the ritual. A lot of these people need to think, okay, I survived it. I got away from it. But what you really need to think of is it could have been a game on their part to pretend to kill you, to break your mind down, to get fearful, because they don't want to just kill you. They want to control you. It costs them money to kill you. Costs them money to kill you. If you're alive, they can use you for their deeds and they can make money from you. So people need to realize that. So I heard somebody speaking not too long ago, but they said, "Yeah, I survived. I got away. Somebody protected me and saved my life." And then you need to think, was it a game to make you think that they were going to kill you, to get you fearful, to know how powerful these are? Because, like I just said, you're worth more dead than alive. I mean, that's backward. That's for movie stars and musicians are worth more dead than alive. You know, after you get your first big hits in the music industry, number one, you make all these millions of dollars, you always tend to fade down. You know, people don't get so hip to go to whatever they have anymore to buy records. I guess it's all over the internet now.
Yeah, I was thinking about how that works, but they have concerts and the concert tickets are hundreds of dollars, which is crazy, right? So they have concert tickets, but I think that when you go to it, like you have your music on like a Spotify system or one of them, you get a little bit of money each time somebody listens. But you have to have a lot of followers or listeners to actually make money. Like in the old days, you could sell the records,
Oh
right? As
yeah,
a physical product.
Lady Gaga signed a contract in Las Vegas. I think it was $400 million for the year. I don't care how much you charge for those concert tickets. You're not going to make your money back of $400 million.
It's a
Not
lot of,
happening. So a lot of things are done in shady deals, kind of
yeah.
like the Clinton foundations and things like that. The police themselves, so they can unalive a person like Jackie Kennedy. They can unalive a person like the former president of the United States, and they can put millions of dollars in this account and millions of dollars in that account, and it's all covered up.
Right.
Where'd all that money go?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they do. That's what they do.
That's
So,
exactly what they do.
so
They'll go
let's,
kill a rancher that owns a 2,000 acre ranch or 3,000 or 50
yeah,
square mile ranch. They'll just go in there and say, "I like that ranch." Kill the guy. Let's say, let's subdivide it now. Let's make one
yeah,
acre little plots. We'll put a road here. We'll put a road there. These
yeah,
are billionaires. They
yeah,
got the money and the power to do what they want, and then they
yeah.
make twice their money,
And
on
they
their
call in all
investment,
their friends to help them, right?
and then they get all their criminals to go buy a lot in there so they can keep their family all together
Right,
and tight knit.
right, right, right. So let's talk about what's coming up for you in the near future. Want
We're
to talk?
doing it.
Huh?
We're doing it November 22nd. And if we survive November 22nd, just November 23rd, Dallas, Texas. We got lots of books. I just got 25 of these hats. I just ordered. They just came in yesterday, day before yesterday, something like that. We got posters. We got banners. We got, I've got 20 posters of this wonderful book. I
Justice?
got right here. And if you purchase this book on John F Kennedy JR.com, it goes to the Healing Center. We are going to get that Healing Center one way or another. I got 20 posters of this book, and I gotta go get some glue and some poster boards from the dollar store. I think I have the sticks, but I actually want to make a few picket signs. So when we're in Dallas, if you want a picket sign, hit me up. Say I'll be happy to carry your book to get the
Yeah,
story out on my shoulder.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people say I'll make my own sign. That's wonderful, but I'm sharing the story that they're covering up. My
Right,
father was assassinated there on that day 62 years ago. They're still covering up that he was killed by our very own government. And I'm exposing that they didn't even, what their main thing was to take over the Kennedy family by organized crime. They
right,
replaced me, people. Some
right,
people don't believe me. That's fine. But the people that don't believe me, wouldn't you like to really know the truth? Let's demand that they prove me right or wrong. Let's demand it because I know the story. I know they replaced me.
right,
I know why they replaced me. They
right,
replaced other Kennedy family members so they could steal the billions of dollars. And that's what they did. That's our government. They're so greedy, they will commit murder and replacement, identity theft. And I'm there to say, hey, I'm the real one. And this is what our government's doing. Let's make some noise. Let's get the truth out. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like these people in government that murder people, steal their money, and tax us and spend our money how they want. You think your children have a future in this country when there's people in control that are doing that? I'm just saying, hey, prove me wrong. You can't. You won't be able to unless
right.
they got a lot of rigging to do and changing shit around. You can't even get the Epstein files released. But let's hold our sign and say release the files
Right.
too. Let's get them all released.
So back to November 22nd, we've got an anniversary of JFK's assassination. So everyone down at Daly Plaza in Dallas, peaceful gathering, okay? No hostility, no negativity. It's your chance to meet John. You can actually purchase a book from him in person. He'll have a certain number of books and he's going to have signs that you can hold up. You can help share the story to the people that just go there for, general interest. They're interested in history. They make a trip to this museum, basically, and it's expensive for them to travel. But this is a bonus for them because they're going to get the whole story. And if you are able to come and share it with us, and I shouldn't say us, I will not personally be there this time. All right. I'm not going this time, but perhaps in the future. And I don't know when that will be, but an opportunity to
And
meet
that's a
John in
bummer.
person. Yeah. Very cool.
Um, we're trying to get gas money and every other thing.
Yeah.
Um, on my website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr. You can get a stolen identity necklace dog tag like this. Um, all the proceeds, these were donated to me. So that if you buy a pendant, the proceeds go directly to me
Right.
and I can fill up my truck with gas.
Yeah.
I got to fill it up like 20 times to get there and come back if you can
Oof.
figure it
Yeah.
out that way.
So,
Um,
yeah, bottom line is it's an expensive trip. So if you can purchase the book, or more importantly, is the pendant if you don't have one already, and you can use them as holiday gifts, or they've got healing and protective frequencies in them. So please share the pendants around because that is more profit for John. Or if you really don't want a book or a pendant, there is a donate button on his page, and you can donate through Cash App and basically send him the money for the funding for the gas, the motel, and the travel expense.
And
Okay.
I'm just going to announce what we talked about earlier, Sue. Sue wrote this book out of our conversations that we have all the time. And I get a lot of people asking me for autographs. I'm going to be sending Sue a whole box full of autograph books. So if you want an autograph book, we're going to say donation. If you want to donate a few bucks for an autograph book, that'll help me put some gas in the car, help me basically to start the healing center and get an office so we can have a home base where we can get this story out. That's awesome. Just
Yeah.
mention that
Yeah.
in your thing. But that's what we're going to do. If you want an autograph book, go to the
Yeah.
Sue's website, go to my website, and say, hey, um, I would love an autograph book or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And
I haven't done anything yet, but I will add a option there. And again, our goal is now listen to what we've got. I'm shipping the books, so I physically have them here. I got to send them to John, which is a week. He signs them and sends them back another week. All that extra postage, shipping, blah, 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 blah.
it gets expensive.
Yeah,
It
please.
gets expensive.
We're not normally offering that, but we're trying to basically fundraise for John for his trip. So if you order a signed book or request a signed book, it might take us a while to get it to you, but we would appreciate a donation. Make it a big one so that John can make his trip in comfort. He
Yeah.
right now does not
I'm
have the funds to go to Dallas right now.
I'm trusting in Daddy. I'm trusting in God,
Yeah,
and
it'll
it's
come.
going to happen. It is going to happen.
Yeah,
You know, I don't care if I have to stop at a gas station and hold my gas can up and say, "Hey, I'm John Kennedy Jr." You know, like I've been hit up 100 times in my life by people holding gas cans saying I'm up the road,
yeah,
broke out.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but anyway, it's going to happen. We're going to be there. Um, it's going to be great.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
yeah. So for those that are willing to support John, we thank you in advance. For those that can share the story, the book, the documentary around, thank you for your help. All right. And I think we're at a good closing spot for today, but I appreciate everyone watching and listening. And, we kind of say the same thing every week in a different way, but we need to get the story out there to people. It's really hard. So for those
Well,
that are
we're
haters, it's not an easy job. I welcome you to try it, you know?
we're on here all the time. I
Yep.
know I try to make a video just about every day, but I'm on here
Yeah.
because I have to be. I
Yeah.
can't sit back and know that evil is so bad going on the people that control us and what
Yeah.
they're doing to
Yeah.
us and what our future is.
Yeah.
Um, I have to. It's something I have to do. Going to Dallas is something I have to do for the people of the world is say, hey, I'm John Kennedy Jr. I'm alive. Look what they did to me and prove me wrong. I'm here. They can't prove me wrong because I lived it. I lived a hell of a
Yeah.
nightmare. And I'm willing to stand up and say, hey, let's expose. You know, the worst thing you can do to somebody in the mafia, somebody in the underworld, somebody making all this money with organized crime, is point your finger at them and say, you're an organized crime member. You know, you're pimping those little girls out on the street corner to make your freaking dollars. Hello, you're a child sex trafficker. You're into this all about you and the rich, and let's expose them for what they are. That's the worst thing you can do to one of these people, and we're doing it, and we see it in the hate comments. We see it big time, and it
Yeah.
makes you wonder. But there's so many enemies out there from the Quigley family to the Kennedy family. They're huge and they're fake and they're frauds, but it goes all the way to the presidents of the United States. It always has since that wonderful day that my father was removed from office by force. And it's been going on ever since, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
People just aren't awake to know it. People aren't awake to know it.
Right. I gotta think there'll be a lot of people there for the anniversary weekend of your father's death.
Oh, it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I wanted to go is to give Shannon Sheridan a big hug.
Yeah.
For all the weeks and the thousands of buttons and stickers that she's given away. What a wonderful line. A few months ago, I was like, I want to go there and give her a hug and tell her thank you
Yeah.
for everything. And then she messaged me and she said, on the 22nd, it's going to be packed here. It's going to be crazy here. And she was like, there's going to be so many people here to hear your story. And it's like, that's the day we got to go.
You should
That's
probably take a little like a soapbox, in the old days. So something you can stand on and talk to people so they can hear you. You're going to have a lot, it's going to be a physically challenging day, meaning you're standing a lot and you're going to be talking a lot. It's going to be good because a lot of people will get to speak with you face to face.
at
And
my age, though, Sue, standing on anything's kind of hard.
okay.
Just getting my leg over my motorbike anymore is a chore. But
Yeah, yeah. So that's funny. All right. So thank you all for any support you can give to John for his trip, for his healing center, for getting the story out there. Whatever you can do is always appreciated. Thank you, John, for sharing the story, persisting, and hanging in there. It's not easy sometimes, is it?
oh, not at all. But
Right.
we do what we do. I
Yep.
love you, sister.
Love you too. Talk to you soon.
Uh,